Simulator games in Roblox continues to be in a new low, and I don't think many people talk about just how bad it is. So in this video, we'll be checking out simulator games that Roblox recommends me in my homepage to see just how bad it truly is. I hope you enjoy. First game is called Weapon Crafting Simulator, and from the start, it really is just your usual simulator game. Like, let me tell you, it reeks of brain rot. The amount of things on the screen is enough for kids to be bedazzled, and it doesn't even let you do proper weapon crafting. You're buying weapons, not crafting them. Another thing that's incredibly consistent with these types of games, which you'll see much later on, is the amount of paywalled stuff they have. The shop has too much in it. It's like the devs are saying to buy all these stuff for 10 million gajillion Robux instead of playing our game. It's an obvious cash grab scam. There really isn't too much to say about this game because it's literally just a factory-produced copy of your generic simulator games, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a cash grab. Next game is called Swordmaster Simulator, and this game actually exceeded what little expectations I've had for this game. There was an actual plotline, albeit being very generic, but it's still something you could appreciate since not a lot of these simulator games have that concept. There's a hub town of sorts that you can explore, and there's definitely some hints of thought put into the concept of this game. But of course, it still has the same problems as any other modern simulator games. You have pets that'll help you kill things as you progress, and it's a clicker game, and of course, the obscene amount of things inside the shop. I wish the monsters at least fought back to make things less turn off your brain moment. Overall, there's really nothing much to say about this game, so I'll give it a 2 out of 10. Next game is called Pull the Sword. If you guys have seen Reborn as Swordsman, it's essentially the same. Instead of fighting actual enemies though, you need to increase your strength in order to pull out the swords, hence its namesake. Guess how you could increase your strength? By clicking, of course. The game also bombards you with its UI because every corner of the screen has something in it. It's either gonna be packs or just any settings for the game. To no one's surprise, this game also has pets that you can get by pulling the swords out. This is explicitly just Pet Simulator, but with swords. Another thing is the free pet pack you see on the top left corner. It's so exploitative because you either play for an hour to increase its boost in the homepage algorithm, or you pay 800 Robux to get the free pet instantly. I doubt this pet will last you for a long time in the game for it to be worth 800 Robux, but that is just a blatant scam. Why not only keep the former option and not give kids an incentive to steal their parents' credit card? This is also the first game on the list to have a rebirth system. It's not surprising at all, but it being the first one to have it speaks volumes since you would expect that most simulator games to have one. Shop is also incredibly expensive. It reminds me of Pet Sims 99's shop due to you being able to get a Titanic pet for gajillion amounts of Robux. Overall, this game's the most generic this genre could get, so I'll give it a 1 out of 10. Next game is called Clicker League, and if you notice, the loading screen is so similar to Pull a Sword. In fact, most of its UI is the same copy-pasted slop you see on most of these games. They didn't even bother making their own assets for it. They just picked the most enticing graphic design to catch children's attention so they could cough over all their money to the devs. It's absolutely disgusting. Also, this game is just your typical clicker simulator game with pets, a rebirth system, and a multitude of things in the shop. A thing you'll notice from modern simulator games is that they'll explicitly only use swords as a method of combat. I'd be more interested to see magic rather than swords that you pay for when grabbing models from Roblox Studio. I didn't even bother playing through it because it's the same stuff you'd expect from these types of games. This game is a cash grab out of 10. Next game is called Sword Clicker, and guess what the game is all about? You click to get stronger, dummy. Get it? Because this type of gameplay is the best, 10 out of 10. At least this game doesn't have that much going around in its UI, which I could definitely appreciate, and it uses different assets than most other simulator games. The funny thing though is that clicking faster doesn't give you any merit. Slow auto-clicking or swinging for that matter, and butterfly clicking grants you the same amount of strength points, which makes me think that there is a set limit on the client side that stops players from mashing. Like Clicker League, I just immediately left because there was nothing new that it could show me, so I give it a cash grab out of 10. Next game is called Swordman Simulator, and based from the title alone, I could already tell that it's going to bombard me with its UI. Yep, it did. That was an immediate turnoff for me that I didn't even last a minute in the game. From the UI alone, I could tell that it has nothing original to offer, so that just convinced me more to just quit the game. It's probably a money laundering scam, and I hope the authorities do something about this. Cash grab out of 10. There was a game that popped up that actually caught my attention, and it was Demon Training Simulator. I was wrong to be caught in its attention because it's just a Demon Slayer knockoff, fashioned neatly with a clicker sim bow on top. The UI is the same as any other games in the list, and I doubt it has anything new in its arsenal. Scam out of 10. The next game, and probably the best one in this list, is a game called Warrior Simulator. According to the title, it's still in beta, so I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and to my surprise, this was actually the tamest simulator game in the list. The UI wasn't on your face, and the way you get stronger is actually unique. You need to upgrade your stats in order to progress, and you upgrade your stats by killing monsters. The way you kill these monsters is by entering dungeons, and the combat is fairly unique to its genre. You can kite around the monsters you face and gain more XP as opposed to just standing and tanking every hit. There are also skills that you could unlock, and that in itself is already pretty unique. Another thing I appreciate is the amount and price of viable items. From my playtime, I saw no premium eggs that cost Robux to unlock, something that is very common in these types of games. All pet eggs are unlockable by earning cash, and they don't have any of those ultra rare 0.01% chance drop rate pets in the roll, because there seems to be a proper tiering of eggs where you definitely start from the bottom by only being able to get common pets, and you work your way up the ladder in order to have the chance to get rarer pets. The rarest pet I've seen has a 5% chance of dropping, which compared to most simulator games is very common. As mentioned earlier, the Robux prices in this game is fairly negotiable. The cheapest offer only being 9 Robux for a permanent 20% boost to your XP gain, which I could definitely appreciate. A man has to pay his bills, but this game doesn't reek of exploitation. You can purchase resources using Robux from the shop as well, and some other stuff the game has to offer, but compared to games in its genre, it's relatively cheap. With all that said, I'm still not recommending anyone to buy them, of course. Inherently, it's still a clicker game, but I could definitely sense that it wants to stave off from that beaten path and forge its own. And I hope it continues to do so instead of falling prey to the dark side. Overall, this simulator game was the odd one out of the bunch in a good way, but there definitely was some thought put into it. I give it a 5 out of 10. The last two games on the list, I'd rather just do them both at the same time because there is nothing to be said about them. First one is Sword Legend Simulator, and it's the same old clicker game, pets, expensive stuff in the store, you know the drill. At least you can fight off things, but they just stand there for you. Oh wait, another game in the list already does that. Cash grab out of 10. Next is Sword Warrior Simulator. I didn't know why I expected something from this game, but I shouldn't have. It's literally just pet sim, but with swords, but it bombards you so much with its UI. Garbage out of 10. And that's it for uncovering the horrid state of simulator games right now. There was a game that showed potential, and I hope it continues to do so. But for most of the games we covered, it's all the same sloppy material. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in due time.